Welcome or welcome back to Game of Fangs and Thorns. My name's Hannah and this is a bit of hair that just won't lie where it's supposed to. But this is a weekly reading vlog. Now it is Monday. I'm just about to I say just about to stop work. It's about 8:30 and I don't start. Is it 8:30? No, can't be. I think it's earlier than that. Anyway, I don't start until 10. So I have lots of reading I can be getting on with this morning. And the current book, if you saw last week's vlog, which went up today as I'm filming, I started Crave by Tracy Wolff, and I am on chapter 46, I think. Let me double check. Chapter 46, and I am really enjoying it. It is quite tongue-in-cheek funny, I would say. Like this book is aware of itself, and you know, it knows that vampires and werewolves and shapeshifters have gone from being in thing to just being a bit overdone and cliche now, but it is running with those cliches, I would say. So I'm on page, as mentioned, I'm on chapter 46, which is page 363, and this book is 500 pages long. I think it's 571. But if you didn't know, this follows Grace, whose parents tragically die in a car crash in California, and she's shipped off to Alaska because her only surviving family live in Alaska. Her uncle, Finn, is the headmaster of Catmere Academy, and he enrolls Grace to keep Grace in that school, that boarding school. However, when Grace gets there, she realises that this school is posh with a capital P and rich, and there is something not quite right about it. I mean, it says on the back what's happening, but I mean, we're at the 300 page, got to like the 300 page mark, and there's still no complete vampire action, and even then Grace is only just finding out about this now. So I think this one, as opposed to Crush, which is the sequel, I think Crave is more about building up the world, introducing Grace to it, and getting the setting and the feel for everything first. And I can't say I blame it, because, you know, thanks to Twilight, Vampire Academy, Vampire Diaries, can't think of anything else at the moment, but there are plenty of vampire books out there now that have meant that it's either one or two ways for vampires, really: sexy or killer. So, and some of them are both. But I am really enjoying this. I think it's probably a 4-star. Grace's naivety is getting a bit annoying now. It's like, how can you not realise that something wasn't right? These kids, I mean, jeans and a t-shirt and a jumper in the middle of an Alaskan winter. But anyway, I am still enjoying it. This was the prompt for read a book with a skull setting for Beryllium, and for Game of TBR it was read a new to you author. Now it is only like the 13th of September or something, and I am nearly finished my TBR. I think, off the top of my head, I only have Mexican Gothic, Ninth House, and Legendborn on the Beryllium TBR, and then the rest are on Game of TBR. So I think this might be, fingers crossed, watch me jinx it now, but I think this is the another month where I finish my QBR. I have been on a bit of a book buying binge, let's say. I've bought 12 books already, and we're only halfway through the month. I need to go on a book buying ban because I have too many books and not enough room. Because I don't know if you can see, but there's like literally no more room on top of the bookshelf, and we have this little well, that is a CD rack, that is a shoe rack, and I can only access the first two. So we have that one, and then just underneath we're stitches. We do have some books in there, and they are the only ones I can get to. And I don't really want to make this bit too high, because this is where I sleep, and I don't want to fall all the books to fall on me in the sleep. It wouldn't hit me in the head, but still, not nice to have books fall on you when you're asleep. So I think that's it for this update, and I'm hoping to get this finished today. I mean, I only have like 200 and odd pages left, I would say, and it does read really quick. I think the short chapters help, but yeah, I'll probably come back to you after work with another update. So I'll speak to you soon. Okay, so Monday night, I finished work at 6, cooked myself an omelette, and it was just what the doctor ordered, I think. Plus it was quick, and it's the only thing I know how to cook. I'm working my way through. I'm on chapter 58 now, which is I don't want to hear somewhere. Page 462, and this is a 571 page book, so I only have about that much left to go. And I've said this before, but the chapters are really quick, really short, which makes me feel like I'm reading it a lot quicker than I probably would anyway, and it is getting to the action now. Without spoilers, Grace knows what's Grace has finally found out what's going on. Although as a reader we had our suspicions anyway. So Grace has finally figured out what's going on. Well, she hasn't figured it out, she was told. So she knows what's going on. The accidents that are happening around her, she now knows what they are, and the earthquakes. So things are heating up. So I'm going to read that, probably finish it, come back with final thoughts when I have finished it, pop YouTube on in the background for a bit, I think. Who has uploaded? Let's have a look. Too many cushions, teeny tiny phone. Right. So, I know G from Book Roast has uploaded, because I started watching her vlog while I was cooking my tea. Yeah, so G has uploaded a vlog. JD Ray Reads has uploaded, and so has Jen Campbell, but I don't think I'll be watching Jen Campbell's, just because it's the Nikki French video that she said she was going to do, and I'm not really a crime thriller kind of person. So they're the vlogs I want to watch, and then new episode of Vigil went up last night, but I was watching something else. Vigil, if you didn't know, is a murder mystery set in the HMS Vigil, Vigil. It has Seanan Jones, Martin Compton from Line of Duty, and Rose Leslie from Game of Thrones in it. Basically what happens is a soldier is found dead on the submarine. They all think it was an overdose, but it turns out that it maybe wasn't, and there are lots of twists and turns going on so far, and I'm only about 4 episodes in. And then I also want to finish off the second series of Fort Salem. Now the first of Fort Salem is, again, it's a witchy story where the witches are out and proud. However, they are conscripted to serve in the army, and this is a very matriarchal society where women are in charge, but they're not man-haters, which is a refreshing change, in my opinion, from what I've seen of feminism and how that's represented on TV. So they're not man-haters, it's just women are more respected and men take the backseat in that, and it's very political. There's so much going on in that, and in the second season it obviously picks up from the first, and our three characters, Rael, Tally and Abigail, are really being put through it, and because they have graduated basic training, we get more into the history of everything, how the magic is weaponized, that kind of thing. And this was only meant to be a short update. It's about 5 minutes long, so I'm going to stop talking, read, and get on with the watching. So this is the third update on Monday. 3 updates on one day. Could be some sort of record for me, but anyway, excuse me. I finished Grave by Tracy Wolf. I was under the impression that it was 571 pages, and it is, but the last so many pages were special editions of, special bonus chapters from Jackson's point of view, which were quite interesting, but didn't really add much to the story, if you ask me. But anyway, the actual book was 532 pages long, and I gave it 4 stars. It was fun. It didn't really take itself too seriously for a vampire book, but the plot twist at the end, now that was something interesting. I can't tell you because of spoilers, but it was a good one for how it played out, and I am intrigued enough to pick up the second book, but it's just not a priority. So I'm sure I've already told you this like 3 times by now, but Grave was a prompt for the Magical Readathon. It was Aurelium Academy, a read a book with a school setting, and Grace goes to school in Katmia Academy in Alaska. It's a boarding school where all of these people are living, studying, attending. I'm never sure when it's boarding school because he lived there, but he still goes to school. So anyway, and for Game of TBR, the prompt was read a new to you author. So on my Magical TBR, I like that one. At my Magical Readathon TBR, I have 3 books left. I have Mist of Solitude, which was a read a standalone. I have Obsidian Falls, which is read a thriller or a mystery book. And then I have Tower of Rumination, which is to read a 5-star prediction left on the Magical Readathon. So that's 3 books left for that one. Plus, I do have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 books left on Game of TBR. So I think, again, fingers crossed, no jinxing this, I think, because I do go back to the office soon, and uni stuff, well no, uni starts in October for me, because I do open university at part-time, so uni won't make much difference, at least until the end of the month, so that's not something we have to worry about just yet. So I think I might go for something fairly short, and for that I might go for Mexican Gothic, which is my Mister of Solitude book, which I just told you was read a standalone. And for Game of TBR, my prompt for Mexican Gothic was to read a horror. So I'll go get that in a minute. But all I know about Mexican Gothic is that it follows Noemi, who is a socialite, who is invited to her cousin's house, because her cousin's recently got married and is freaking out about something. Noemi is sent a letter asking her to come see her and help solve the mystery, but when she gets there nothing is as it seems. And I do believe that this deals with eugenics, which isn't wrong to say I'm interested in how that works, just purely from a historical point of view, because I don't really know much about it. But I finished watching G and Jade's videos as well. Their vlogs were nice to read too again, and I am on episode 7, I think, of Fort Salem, which is, again, it's a sequel, it's the 2nd season, so I can't really talk too much about it, but I am really enjoying that. It's getting a whole hell of a lot darker. But, you know, it's just September, we're coming into the spooky season, and did I tell you, but I get to watch Nightmare Before Christmas soon, and nobody can tell me not to. Not that anybody would anyway, but you know, that is a Halloween to Christmas film. It's a both film. And I was going to show you my Nightmare Before Christmas coffee cup, but it's downstairs, and so's my tumbler. So we'll just have to show you them another day. So it's a very long, rambling update again, and it's only one day. It's going to be a long vlog. I'll start reading and probably just come back to you tomorrow. Bye for now. So it's Tuesday morning. I figured, seeing as it's only like 8:15 tonight, don't start till 10, figured I would pop in and update you. So, as I mentioned last night, I started reading Mexican Gothic by Silvia Moreno Garcia, and I'm actually quite enjoying it. It is quite slow paced. I think thrillers, horror work better when they're slower because you can build up. I mean, it is only like a 300-page book. 301 pages, and I am on page 58, which is the start of chapter 6. So I don't think anything I tell you now will be a spoiler. Basically, Noemi is a socialite. Her father thinks she's a bit of an airhead and wants her to settle down, and her mother is of the same opinion, but she doesn't agree with Noemi's academic aspirations because she wants to go to the university. And I believe this is set in the think this might be set in the 1950s. It hasn't been explicitly mentioned yet, I don't think. There was one mention of the date when Noemi is talking about when she last wore a certain skirt or something like that. So quite and slow. It's gothic genre. It is giving me those gothic vibes, you know, of those haunted houses, the old houses that have a feel to them, a life of their own almost, and it's getting very big on the mushrooms. So Noemi has just had a dream about a mushroom woman. I think mushrooms are going to play a part in this as well. But so far so good. I think it's too soon to say what I'm going to be rating this, because I am still in the build-up. Like I say, Noemi has gone to her cousin's house. Her cousin to Noemi seems herself. She does have these moments of lucidity, but otherwise there are moments where Catalina, I think it's Catalina. Yeah, Catalina isn't herself, but to make matters worse, Catalina has always been a little bit flighty, a little bit melodramatic, a little bit of a dreamer, and those personality traits are being brought to the forefront with this illness, in brackets. I think it's more than that, but I think you're kind of meant to. The doctor doesn't really inspire much confidence. But maybe that's just because he's a friend of Mr. Doyle, and Mr. Doyle is a little bit odd. So it's being passed off as tuberculosis at the moment, and the letter that Noemi's father was sent, imploring Noemi to come and visit, that letter is being passed off as a fever dream, in that, by which I mean Catalina wrote it when she was in the middle of a fever. I'm sorry if you can hear noise outside, I think it's been day. And 2 doors up from us he is doing a house extension, so there might be a bit of noise in the background there. I think that's it for this update. I've been quite productive this morning. I put a load of washing in. You guys didn't need to know that, but that's what these vlogs are. I'm trying to get these vlogs more interesting, rather than me just coming back and saying, yep, started a book, finished a book. If there is anything you guys want to see in these vlogs, let me know. But in the meantime, I think I'm just going to stop this update and read until it's time to start work. Maybe put another load of washing in if the washer stops. Hang that out if the weather stays nice, and yeah, I think that's it for this update. 5 minutes of me rambling about the book. Done. What up? No, I don't like that. But it's Wednesday morning. I've been up for a while. Just played on my phone, put some washing in, hung washing out, finished the book, and gave it 4 stars. I'll just move you along there. It was a fun, creepy, enjoyable read, but it didn't blow me out of the water. It followed. Did I give you a brief synopsis? I think I did, but basically this follows Noemi, who is a socialite in Mexico City, and she is pretty much ordered by her father to go visit her cousin Catalina in a rundown, ex-touristy kind of place in so she goes to a high place in a state in the mountains of Mexico. I'm going to tell that Mexico. And from there she meets the Doyle family, who are remnants of a big silver mining family, and they have fallen on hard times. The house is a dilapidated relic, but as we read into it, we find out that the house was shipped from England. Sorry, I'm just putting the crochet hook back in my crochet so I don't lose the end. But so Naomi is tasked with going there because Catalina has sent a very strange letter, and Naomi and her father are worried about the state, Catalina's welfare, her mental health, and also the stain of what this would do to the Taboada. I'm not sure how you say that. The effect that would have on their reputation, because this is I believe this is set in the 1950s, and it is very in that era where reputation was everything, especially for the men. I'm sorry if you can hear noise outside. Again, like I mentioned yesterday, I think 2 doors down from us is doing a house extension, so there will be noise. But I gave this 4 stars. The atmosphere was brilliant. It was creepy, especially towards the end as we got the reveal. And all I'm going to say is the reveal, well, in this blog anyway, the reveal has put me off mushrooms a little bit. And it doesn't help that Fort Salem, the witchy show that I was watching on iPlayer, the 2nd season has a bit of a mushroomy feel to it anyway. I mean, it's not a mushroom feel. There is a giant mycelium mushroom type character, type entity in that show. So while I was watching that and reading about mushrooms, I think I got a little bit mushroomed out. I got freaked out by mushrooms. What a thing to get freaked out by. Mushrooms, they are harmless. Well, they're not all harmless, but you know, freaked out by mushrooms. Anywho, so because I am an overachiever, I am going to mark the right book off on my bullet journal. This one is not Mexican Gothic. This one is Ninth House, so I guess that's what I'm reading next. So, you don't need me to tell you about Ninth House, but it is the prompt for Obsidian Falls, which is read a thriller or mystery book, and also I love this prompt. Return of the YA Snake. Basically, it's a snake in the cover or title of the book, and I love that. I love that prompt, even though it only came up once. So because I cannot read my own writing and keep up with my own bullet journal, I'm going to be reading Ninth House next. So all I know about Ninth House is that it is chock full of triggers. So if you are sensitive to certain aspects, I would definitely check out content warnings. Maybe look on Goodreads or search for YouTube reviews of this book. But things like that don't tend to upset me too much. I don't really have any triggers. There are certain things that make me uncomfortable, yes, but uncomfortable and triggers of being triggered are completely different things. So just bear that in mind. But all I know is that it follows Alex, whose full name is Galaxy, which I think is brilliant, and she is the most unlikely candidate for Yale. She's a college dropout and is the survivor of a crash that killed her parents, or an accident. And so she is given a scholarship to Yale, but it isn't the free ride. It never is it? So Yale has these secret societies, and they dabble in magic, I believe, and it is Alex's job to monitor these, to make sure that they aren't doing anything that messes with the balance of good and evil. And I believe that Alex can see ghosts, and that's all I need to know. And I'm going to fix the mess I made in my bullet journal. Basically, I'll just highlight the Mexican Gothic and leave Ninth House highlighted because I'm reading it now. But that means I only have 2 books left to read for the Magical Readathon. I am such an overachiever. Basically, I just have Ninth House, which I've just discussed, which was my Obsidian Falls prompt, and then I have Legendborn as my Tarot Rumination or 5-star prediction prompt. And that's the end of that one. There are 7 books left on my game of TBR, one of which is Ninth House. So really there's only 6. But we can do it. I think I'll leave you now. Read Ninth House and come back to you at the end of work with an update, because no doubt I'll have one by then. So I'll see you for now. Okay, so we'll turn the microphone on. That might be helpful. So Thursday morning, we have nearly made it through another week. Yay! Cutie. Firework sounds, yay! Anyway, it's far too early to try and be excited on a Thursday morning. But I kind of got sucked into this last night. I didn't really feel like I was very far in, and then the next thing I know, I was on page 100 or something. And I have been reading it this morning, just waiting for the house to be empty so I can vlog. I just have a thing about vlogging when there's people in the house, okay? I'm getting there with it. In terms of Ninth House, I'm on page 124, 125. And I am enjoying it so far. It's a little bit of a hard read in terms of the fact that it is quite dark. It's very creepy, but not overly. It's creepy, but not scary creepy. It's creepy as in the sense of your back. If you go past an old house, your back and your hackles get put up a little bit. It's that kind of vibe so far, which I got even before they found the dead girl on campus, and that has just multiplied it. At the moment, the police aren't really investigating because it's nothing to do. They don't think it's anything to do with these societies on campus that Alex is being tasked with monitoring. So the police are just treating it like a normal homicide, which at the moment, because she was town, the dead girl was town as opposed to Yale, and it's kind of feels like it's kind of taking a back seat a little bit. In terms of the writing, it is very different to. Trying to think what I've read by Leigh Bardugo. Well, I've read the Grisha trilogy, and the writing in here is it's still her signature style. It's still descriptive and lyrical. It's just tinged with a bit of darkness, and it is heavier. I don't know how to describe it, but this is definitely adult. I've just stopped at a very adult scene. If you've read it, you know, but it is a trigger for some people because it is a attempted rape scene, maybe even full rape. I think that's the wrong terminology. By a ghost or a grey, so that was a little bit uncomfortable to read. So again, this has trigger warnings galore. If you think you may be sensitive to any topic, I would check out a list of the content warnings before you go in, just so that you are aware, and if there is anything that is potentially harmful to yourself or triggering, maybe give this book a miss, because the rape scene wasn't overly graphic, but it was still a little bit real. It felt real, even though it was a ghost, but you know. And it seems to be told so far in 2 distinct timelines. We have winter, which is the present day, and then we have, I think it's last fall, which is obviously in the past, where Alex is introduced to Leigh house and the ninth house? Yeah, I think Leigh is the 9th house, and it is that society, and she's introduced to that. That's where she meets Darlington, or Daniel Arlington. I love that, especially since Darlington is a place that's not that far from me as well. And then in the present timeline, the winter timeline, Darlington seems to have gone missing, and something seems to have happened where it seems like Alex is the only one left. So there are mysteries upon mysteries, and I am really enjoying it. I'm sorry these vlogs are a little bit boring, but I don't do anything right now. I work at home, I read. I work at home, I read. And I occasionally go out at the weekend, but that's with friends, and I don't really feel comfortable getting the camera out with people who aren't necessarily into cameras, if that makes sense. They'll take photos, but they are not for, and put them on Facebook, but that's differently. Sorry, I found a knot in my hair, but it is actually kind of behaving itself for once. Might be because I washed it last night. But yeah, I'm going to... Oh, and I got a text earlier to say that my book box club is hopefully being delivered tomorrow. So that'll be something interesting for the vlog. If nothing else, it's to read books, buy books, show books, talk about books. What more do you want on this channel? I am a book person. So yeah, I think that's it for this update, because I want to read some more before I go to work, and I want to know what happened. So bye for now. So it's Friday, we made it to the end of the week, and I have something on my glasses, hang on. Last night, no, I can't see you, I'm still in focus. Last night I finished 9th House by Leigh Bardugo. This was the prompt for Read a Thriller Mystery on Game of TBR. No, is it? No, it was Return of the YA Snake for Game of TBR and Read a Thriller / mystery for Magical Readathon. I gave it 4 stars. It was hard to read at times because of the subject matter, because obviously, if you don't know, the 9th house has so many trigger warnings. I mean, it didn't affect me personally because I don't tend to be triggered by things in books, but if within like the first 100 pages there was a pretty graphic rape scene, or attempted rape, I would say, excuse me. So, you know, just be wary, and then it follows murder and there's drug use in there. It's probably a bit of stalking, so just, I guess I don't tend to notice them too much because I don't get, they don't affect me personally. So, if you want a complete list, check out Goodreads or reviews, just to be on the safe side if you think it is something that you are interested in, but you are a little bit wary of certain subject matter. But I gave it 4 stars. It was well written. I think I mentioned this earlier, but Bardugo has a very lyrical style. Well, not lyrical, but descriptive, and it has a nice rhythm to it, I think. Obviously I've read the Grisha trilogy and listened to the Six of Crows duology on audio, so I think that is where I'm basing these on. Obviously Ninth House is adult, so the tone is a lot darker, the writing is denser, but still has that nice rhythm to it. So I gave it 4 stars. I have a really itchy eye, I don't know why. So yeah, I gave it 4 stars, and I did enjoy it, and I will be picking up the sequel because I checked Goodreads and it is a first in the series, which is good because I did enjoy reading from Alex's perspective, or Galaxy, but the other characters, excepting maybe Darlington, I didn't really get a feel for. Maybe that was the point, because I think Alex can be a little bit selfish at times, but I didn't really get a feel for any other character apart from Alex and maybe Darlington, and that might be because it is split. It is told in 2 perspectives over 2 different timelines. We follow present day, which I think is classed as winter to spring, and that's told by Alex. But then we have last fall, I think it is, and that is primarily narrated by Darlington. And in this we find out pretty early on that something has happened to leave Alex as the only member of, well, not the only member of Ninth House, but the only investigative member of Ninth House left, and she has to solve a murder on campus. So I think that was a nice way of introducing not only the Leigh house on its own, but how the other societies of Yale interact with it, and how Leigh is sort of looked down upon because it's not a real... Ow! I hurt my... Have you ever shaved the top of your nail and then forgot about it? And then it's fine until something touches it and you try to move it. Anyway, but yeah, I did that yesterday, or the day before. Fun. What was I saying? Oh yeah, I think it's interesting how the Ancient 8 societies of Yale interact with Leigh, and how they interact with the rest of the world as a whole. Again, this one, maybe it's just me rather than the book, but because it is like a thriller mystery type story, and I don't really read those very often, but I need more character development in the people, in the villain characters. I need to understand why. Maybe in this particular book it was meant to be a shock, but to me it fell short. So 4 stars for that one. I'm sort of pottering, I would say, trying to I haven't started my next book yet, but I have picked it. It is Legendborn by Tracy Deonn. This is for Game of TBR prompt. It is read paperback. Yes, I know, a very broad subject considering most of my books are paperback, but you know, gives me a chance to actually read the books I buy that month as well, I suppose. But anyway, and for the last readathon prompt, I know I'm nearly finished. It's like, what, the 3rd week? Let's check this one. Yeah, it's the 17th today, so we've got about a week and a half ish, because I get paid on the 27th, which is the last Monday. Yeah, so I think we've got like a week and a half left. And I am on my last book of the readathon. That's crazy. I know I read a lot, but come on, this is like a lot, even for me. But anyway, so back on track. Is it a television prompt? I can't quite remember the exact prompt, but the name of the prompt, but the prompt is to read a 5-star prediction. I know other booktubers have absolutely raved about Legendborn, and my sister, who doesn't read very often, she's getting into reading, but she doesn't read as much as me, because I don't think anybody in my family reads as much as me. Sorry, I thought I heard the door. I'm waiting on my book box parcel. But yeah, she really enjoyed it as well, so I think it is going to be a 5-star for me, even if I am slightly apprehensive about going in, because me and hyped books don't really get along. I either absolutely buy into the hype after the hype has died down, because I am terrified to read it when the hype is going and not like it, or I just don't see what the hype is about. But when I read hyped books, it is usually I buy it, they sit on my shelf for too long, hype dies down, then I read it. But so I don't have the book with me, it's downstairs, but from what I can remember, Legendborn follows our main character, whose name has escaped me, but she is witness to her mother's brutal murder, and on the night of the murder she encounters this Merlin character who's a bit like a wizard, and he attempts to take away her memories and is somewhat successful, but then our main character enrolls in a sort of pre-med, pre-college class for extremely smart people, and so she attends that, and she uses it as a chance to grieve her mother, start that grieving process, and get away from her father, who loves her but is crowding her a little bit, I think. But while she's on campus, she discovers this society. I'm reading a lot about secret societies this week. Crave can technically count. And then get back on track, kind of. So then she meets these secret societies, and it turns out that they are the descendants of Arthur and his knights, and it looks at, from what I remember, it looks at power, the patriarchy, and is there's something else, but I'm sure it'll come to me. But anyway, I am getting ready to go back to the office. Yay! So I can finally show you these cups that I bought. My obsession with a certain film is getting a bit out of hand, but this is just the bag I'm using, and at the moment it just has my Nightmare Before Christmas flask. I think I got this, oh, it's from Funko, but I got it from eBay, not eBay, Amazon. It's just a water flask that I use. Nothing too exciting, but it's the many faces of Jack. I have a t-shirt with that on as well. And then I have my coffee cup with my, oh, upside down, with my name on, because I'm getting up stupidly early and I will need coffee at the train station, and we are still in the middle of a pandemic. I mean, it is easing, but I'd feel better. But I've been told that when I'm in the office, I need my own cup and coffee. So we have that one, and then it's not coming with me just yet because it is getting colder here, and it'll be too cold to have cold drinks on the morning. But I also have a tumbler, again, with my name on, but we have Jack and Zero, and then I love this. It's like the Starbucks logo, but instead of Starbucks, it's Skellington coffee with a silhouette of Unky in the middle, in the Starbucks colours. So that's that one. But I have my, because I am maybe slightly addicted to coffee, I have just these caramel latte sachet things from Aldi. They'll just live in the bag, and plus this is a good excuse for me to check that everything I want to take will fit, because I also have my laptop bag and I don't want to be carrying too many bags around on the train, because 1, I will either hit someone, 2, someone will hit me, or 3, I will forget something or break it. Not good. And then I dropped it. Ow! Just knocked it off my knee as well. And I have something that I got from either Fairy Loot or Illumicrate and have been dying to use because they haven't gone anywhere. And I absolutely love these. I think they're such a cool idea. But I think this is Amiko from Warcross, but it's just a very cool idea. It is a cutlery set. Now, I have taken the spoon out and replaced it with just a normal teaspoon. The teaspoon is nothing special, but these are the knife and fork. They are gold, and I don't know if my camera's good enough to pick it up, but there are little quotes on them. Nah, my camera's not going to pick it up. But the knife says, everything's science fiction until someone makes a science fact. And the fork says, think badass thoughts. And considering I work in IT, I think that's appropriate. And I think Warcross is set in a virtual reality, like a video game type ditto. So that's that. And I'm going to stop rambling. I only came on to update you to tell you that I'd finished 9th out. But in the end, I showed you what's in my bag. This has turned into a what's in my bag video. Does anybody remember those? I thought they were quite cool. Oh, and I have in case I ever want to hang my bag off something, I have the little keyring bag. And I think that is the Rose Wrath in the Dawn by Renee Adair. I did like that book as well. So, it's been a while since I used this bag. I don't actually remember what's in it. I think that's it. And then, obviously, on the Monday, lunch and keys and purse and things will go in as well, but there's no point putting them in just yet when I need them over the weekend, and I don't want to put lunch in too early. So yeah, that's it for this little update and things. I'll probably be back on later when the box comes, and we can hopefully I will have an update on Legendborn for you then. But if not, it'll be later on at some point. I will update you, I promise. Okay, so Friday, I made it through a work week, and I have updates. So, as promised, I have an update. Just get comfy. That looks so cool now, doesn't it? Ignore the posters, they'll be getting rid of it at some point. But this looks so nice now. Anywho, the unhaul video went live today as I'm filming this. So, if you do see a book on there that you're interested in, just drop me a comment on any of the videos and I'll see what I can do. So, we have a update on Legendborn by Tracy Dion. The main character's name is Bree Matthews, and it is an early college that she's going to. On page 72, which is in the middle of chapter 8. I know, terrible stopping between chapters, but I had to go to work. But so far I am enjoying it. It's a really quick read. It's very real, I'm going to say. You could almost imagine this happening in real life. Maybe that's just on the back of reading Ninth House, but this one and Ninth House both felt believable. So this one is obviously young adult, and so far Bree has gotten herself mixed up where she's gotten her nose where it doesn't belong, and she's gotten she is black, and she has a run-in with the police after a bonfire party in the woods quarry. I think it's a quarry, and I think kids are jumping off the top of the quarry, and she has a run-in with a cop, and unfortunately Bree's blackness is used against her, and obviously as a black character, Bree has that wall about her, and I think that, and the fact that she has just lost her mum as well, has aged her, and she is incredibly smart, but she's not arrogant. At least I don't think she's coming across as arrogant too much. But yes, she's getting her nose in. If you have read it, do you like Nick? There's something, bear in mind I am only like 8 chapters in, well 8.5. There's something about Nick that I just don't entirely trust. Let me know if I'm right, let me know if I'm wrong, let me know if you agree, disagree, but no spoilers, because you know, we don't like spoilers on this channel. But book box time. So, full disclosure, I pay for this myself. This is not sponsored, not sent for review, but all opinions are my own. And I know what's in here because it did come at like 11 o'clock, maybe 12. So I was at work and I had to have something to keep me from going. I say work, I've been working from home this week. So I had to open it so I know exactly what's in here. The theme was spectacular, and this is Bookbox's 5th birthday, I think. So this is their birthday box, and I am so impressed with it. So we'll pop the cushion and the little spoiler card is sliding down it. So we'll pop that there, so I can tell you what's by who, and if it has any fandoms. So we have the Wormies, not too much I don't think. Right, so we have the invite, which I'll get to in a minute, because obviously this is the invite for the book. The Book Box Club holds an online clubhouse where you can meet with the author and have that chat. So I'll pop that there and discuss that when we get to the book. We have a candle. It says Starlit Soiree, and it is Jasmine, Sea Air and Powdery Undertones by Bookish Burns. And I don't think it's inspired by anything, but it might be inspired by the book of the month. You'll see why I think that when we see the cover. But it looks like this, pleasing my gummy finger. So we have a blue with glitter, and I haven't snipped this yet, so we'll. Oh, it has little stars. I don't know if my camera's good enough to pick it up, but we have stars. Oh, that does smell nice. It smells clean and light, and more of a. Does have something. I think it's a sea salt, but yeah, that is a nice candle. I have my burner going on, so I'm getting all sorts of mixes here. Some of them are nice. Camera is on 1 bar, so we'll make this quick. Night Circus necklace. Now that is pretty, but it's gold. I don't tend to wear gold, and I didn't really enjoy the Night Circus too much. We'll probably just keep that. I'm really excited about this, but it is. The necklace was by Pin and Ink. We have some popcorn. This is by Popcorn Shed, and it is birthday cake. It is vanilla cake caramel popcorn with sprinkles. So I am going to see Shang-Chi and the 10 Rings tomorrow night. Well, yeah, 7 p.m. So it's tomorrow night, and these will be perfect. Oh, and a less than 100 calories packet, so they're staying out. This is Bunting by Elf Paper Co. I'm not going to take it all out because it's a pain and I have to know where to put it up. I've got my tag. But there's like it's a little windmill. Oh, so it's circus themed. I'll make that off camera and then show you. Then we have a very cute bookmark covered in wormies, and bookmark is a Winter Garden book box, right? So this is inspired by the book as well, and I I think, yeah, this is just done in-house. This is by Book Box Club. We have a badge. It says, not here to be liked by Michelle Quatch. I'm not sure how you say her surname, and I'm sorry. And that is by Book Box Club again. I think it's just a promotional item. The other promotional item we have is this print for Kissing Emma by Shapi Kosandi. And finally we have the book. This is The Winter Garden by Alexandra Bell, published by Del Rey, so I do think it is adult. And her name did seem familiar to me, and it's because under the name Alex Bell, she wrote the Polar Bear Explorers Club, which I do want to read. So this is a gorgeously understated book, very wintry, and it's just blue underneath. I have stuck the signed book plate in. I had to put it that way because it doesn't fit that way. So, welcome to the Winter Garden. Open only at 13 o'clock. On the night her mother dies, 8-year-old Beatrice receives an invitation to the mysterious Winter Garden, a place of wonder and magic, filled with all manner of strange and sublime flora and fauna. The garden is her solace every night for 7 days. But when the garden disappears and no one believes her story, Beatrice is left to wonder if it was truly real. 18 years later, on the eve of her wedding to a man her late father approved of but she does not love, Beatrice makes the decision to throw off the expectations of Victorian English society and search for the garden. But when both she and her closest friend Rosa receive invitations to compete to create spectacular pleasure gardens, with the prize being one life-changing wish, she realises she may be closer to finding it than she ever imagined. Now all she has to do is win. Oh, this book retails for 15 quid. So, on the back, I think this is the invitation. You are invited to enter an unusual competition. I am looking for the most magical, spectacular, remarkable pleasure garden this world has to offer. A garden that brings wonder and amazement to people's lives. The winner will be picked at the end of next year upon New Year's Eve. They will be required to give up the most wondrous part of their garden. In return, the prize will be one wish from the last of the Winter Garden's magic. Doesn't that sound fun? So, I'll just quickly pop this on. Actually, let's see me fight to do something creative, because I am terrible at this. Oh, books are uniquely portable magic. I agree. So, oh, there's a Greatest Showman dude here. Right, so I have no idea what I'm doing, as you can probably tell. Which way does this go? Put it behind. The camera's probably going to die before I finish this, but you know. Put it back there. I don't think I've ever used bunting, but my shells could do with a little joie de vivre. Joie de vivre? I don't know. A little zhuzh. They have the Lumicrate enamel pots on there, and the bust of Lila Bard. I like that one. Hope they do more busts. I like the busts. I have no idea if I'm doing this right. So some of them are going to be in front and some of them are going to be behind. I don't know if I'm doing this right, but you know, we'll figure it out together. Even if it is a little bit wonky, it's mine. And it's creative influence, I think. So plans for tonight, because it is Friday. think it'll just be a case of watch whoever's put vlogs up or videos up. I will watch that. I'm confused again. I'll come back to you when I figure this out. So that didn't take as long as I thought it would. We have the bunting, we have our little tiger, windmill, the quote that says books are uniquely portable magic. We have P.T. Barnum, well, I think it's just a ringmaster. And then we have this lady on the aerialist with wings. This is quite cute. I think I might pin it to my shelf. I think I'm going to be reading for the rest of the night. And I'll come back to you when I finish the book. Or tomorrow. Okay. Okay, we are in this background because I have just filmed my TBR. And the gods like me. It's a small one this month, which is good. So, plans for today. I'm pretty much free until this afternoon. I filmed the video. I'll probably start editing it tomorrow when I edit this vlog. It's just a TBR, so it won't be ready because I still have to film the rolls. But you know how that one works. I do the moves. Well, I've done the rolls and the picks. I do the moves on the board as late as I can because of the way that I put in my extra rolls for books finished or books bought. So I just need to do that at some point next week before Friday. But that's that. Oh, updates. I didn't finish Legend Bond last night, but I did get over halfway and I am still really enjoying it. Bree has discovered her own brand of magic and where that comes from, and she's learning more about the Legendborn and where their magic came from and how it seems to be distorted from the natural magic that her mother, Bree, her mother, and her community, is that the right word? Practice. So that's that. And I am really enjoying it. I have nothing else to say apart from I need to put my prompt back in the box, and I'll come back to you if I have any other updates. But at the moment that's that. I might go book shopping later because I have some time to kill. I might go to and I might take you with me, but probably not. So bye for now. Did I say I was gonna go buy Ben? I lied. Well, I tried, but then I went into Waterstones, and then I went into Forbidden Planet, and I went for sushi and I got boba tea. So, let's do the Waterstones books first because there is only 2. We have Howl's Moving Castle by Diana Wynne Jones. I love the Studio Ghibli movie. Move you back a bit. Oh, pardon. So I love the Studio Ghibli movie, and I have been on the fence about buying this one for a while, just because I love the movie and I don't want to be disappointed. But I feel like now's a good time as any, and it just looks so good, this one. But basically, I think everybody knows the Studio Ghibli version of this one, or at least has seen it, or at least knows the story. Sophie Hatter is the youngest of, in the movie at least, she's the youngest of 3 daughters, and she works in her father's hat shop. She's quite content to do that, but her sisters want her to experience life, blah blah blah. Sophie accidentally attracts the unwelcome attention of the Wicked Witch of the Waste, who curses her to be an old woman. So Sophie is quite funny in the movie anyway. She's like, oh, I'm getting old, it's no fun, but we'll just get on with it. And she comes across Howl's moving castle. Now Howl is another sorcerer, wizardy type character who is known for eating the heart of young girls. So in the movie at least, Sophie becomes their housekeeper, and when she is asleep the curse is temporarily lifted and she can be seen as the young woman she is. Now there's a scene in the movie that I hope is in here where Howl is a bit of a drama queen. I love it. Then we've got House of Secrets by Chris Columbus and Ned Vizzini. It is by she who must not be named, but we'll move on. This is an older book. This edition was published in 2014, first published in 2013. I've just seen it around and it just looks like a haunted house type. If anybody saw the House of Anubis series that was on, I think it was CITV in England, does this not give you that vibe? But when Brendan, Cordelia and Nell move to Kristoff House, they have no idea that they are about to unleash the dark magic locked within. Ooh. I don't know what that was. Now the Warga kids must battle against deadly pirates, bloodthirsty warriors and a bone-crunching giant. If they fail, they will never see their parents again and a crazed witch will take over the world. No pressure then. That book says it all. Then I went to Forbidden Planet. I also have Legendborn in here, and I I have this much left. Still thoroughly enjoying it. Things are heating up. So I went and I bought 3 books. So 5 books isn't me. Well, no, more than 5 books. It's 1, 2, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 7. 3 were a box set. So about 7 books. So that's not major, but we have The Forest of Stars by Heather Kastner. Left all alone after her mother passes away, 12-year-old Louisa watches the sky for her mother. Long ago, a powerful gust of wind watches the sky for her father. Long ago, a powerful gust of wind stole him away on the wings of his untamed magic. The same magic that stirs within Louisa. As if she is made of hollow bones and too much air, her feet never quite touch the ground. But for all her sky-gazing, Louisa finds her fortune on the ground when she spots a ticket to the carnival beneath the stars. If her father fits in nowhere else, maybe she'll find him dazzling crowds alongside the other strange feats. Yet after she arrives, a tight-rope act ends disastrously and suspiciously. As fate tugs Louisa closer to the stars, she must decide if she's willing to slip into the injured performer's role, despite the darkness plucking at the carnival's magic threads. So I love circus stories. I love how they can go one of 2 ways. You've got the romantic idea of running away to the circus and finding adventure, or the creepy ass clown with, yeah, we don't do clowns. We don't do clowns on this channel, they freak me out. But circus carnival-y stories tend to go, in my opinion anyway, they tend to be romantic, magical, gothic romancy, adventure-y, enthralling, dark magic, adventure, or straight up horror, don't go clowns. And I think this might be the former. And I just love this cover has been calling to me for weeks. Just look at it. So this must be our character Louisa, and gives me Night Circus vibes. Do I have a cover that would? No, I have the teeny tiny Vintage Magic edition, but for some reason that just gives me Night Circus vibes. But We like the Night Circus on this channel. Then we have Gods and Monsters by Shelby Mahurin. This is the conclusion to Serpent and Dove, and Serpent and Dove follows Lou and Reed, and Lou is a witch, Reed is a witch hunter. They don't know, well, Lou knows that Reed is a witch hunter, but Reed doesn't know that Lou is a witch, and they are married in a series of circumstances. And obviously, it's really nice. We have Serpent and Dove right here, and then we have the sequel Blood and Honey. I did quite enjoy this, and I am interested to see how this ends. And I just saw the hardback for like 12 quid, and it matches the... Normally I'm not that fussed about getting hardcovers, but I've got the other two in hardcover, so I have to get the third one, and it's just so shiny. I love it when it's silver. I am much more silver than gold, as we know, as I have told you countless times, I'm sure. And then we have this 3-book box set, which is the first 3 books of the Wayward Children series by Seanan Mcguire. We have Every Heart a Doorway, Down Among the Sticks and Bones, and Beneath the Sugar Sky. I'm sure there are we on for 6 now? But they are quite short. But from what I understand this is a portal fantasy where children who have gone to these other worlds and came back for whatever reason are sent to this children's home for wayward children. I'm not sure of the details, but they are sent there, and the first book opens with a murder. Someone is trying to kill these kids, I think, and then each story after that follows a specific character in a specific portal world, and what they find there, and why they get kicked out, choose to come back. I've just heard nothing but great things about these ones, and they are, these 3 at least, are quite short, so it shouldn't take me long to read them. And I just love the covers. They are so... Now if my camera can you see? I just love these. Isn't there a horsey book out? But yeah, that's the mini haul. I'm going to find a way to put them on the shelf. The TBR card is running at me. Put them on, update the bullet journal, and read until Sean comes and picks me up. So I have a couple of hours. It's only 25 to 3 and he's picking me up at 5:30, so that's plenty of time, she says. So the next update will probably be when I finished Legend Bone, or tomorrow, probably tomorrow. So bye for now. So I told you I'd be back when I finished the book. I finished it, and Tower of Rumination is complete, and with this the magical readathon is complete. I have finished it. I have passed the novice path. I have completed it, and there's still about a week and a half left of September, but I have 5 books left on Game of TBR to read in a week and a half. I think 2 of them are YA, the rest are adult, so I may do it, but I'm back in the office next week, so we'll not put any pressure on ourselves. If I do it, I do it. If I don't. But anywho, I give this 5 stars. It is Danielle Clayton has blurbed it, and I think this sums up my feelings as well. A searing and modern tale of grief, power and self-discovery. I completely agree. But I also want to add that it touches on legacy, and what that means, especially if your family legacy comes from something that's not that great, and how that affects you going forward. It's something that you do have to come to terms with and accept and realise how that's not only going to affect you, but how people who know about the legacy and the impact of that are going to be affected, and B, how that will affect their treatment of you. So that's where that one was going, and it was heartbreaking to read in places because obviously I am a white English woman. I can't comment on the POC rep. However, I can sympathise and understand Bree's ancestral pain and why the things needed to change, why we cannot let those stories be swept under the carpet, why we can't forget them, and also why it is important for people to be seen in books. With Bree, she is a complicated black girl in the south of America, and from what I understand, the south isn't very accepting. We also have Greer, who is non-binary, and I absolutely adore them. I hope we get more of them in the sequel. I think they'll be a very interesting character, especially as they are non-binary in the south. We also have a female-female relationship and a male-male relationship. What's interesting about the society, in my opinion, is their reaction to those same-sex relationships. They accept them, they don't really approve, but they accept them because bloodlines, unfortunately they can't have children of their own, so their bloodline is kept pure, which to me is not a good enough reason to accept a relationship. You should just accept the relationship on the basis that these two people want to be together, regardless of sex, regardless of sexual preference, gender, race, sexual identity, all of those umbrella terms. But we're getting off topic here. But I absolutely adored it. I loved the story of how Bree, I don't want to say moves on, but she makes her peace with her mother's passing, and how everything is interlinked. There's one reference right at the start that, when it was written, was fine because it is Harry Potter related. So if that is a trigger, just be aware that there is a teeny tiny little thing right at the beginning. A character is, I think Bree tells Alice, her best friend, don't be such a Hermione. So just be wary of that. And obviously at the time that was fine, but now with what JKR has been saying, and especially as this book is so LGBTQ plus positive, just be wary of that. And I absolutely adored it. I read this in 2 days. I think I started it yesterday. So that's that. This is going to be a long vlog, and it also so it's only Saturday, and I have already read Grave, Mexican Gothic, Ninth House, and now Legendborn. That's 4 books in a week. How? And they all have a sort of theme about them as well. They all deal with secrets. Maybe secret society, but I don't know if you could count them. Well, yes, it is a society. They are. Anyway, yeah, that's reading all the books about secret societies and finishing the novice path. And it's only Saturday, and I have about an hour before Sean's due to pick me up. So let's see what to pick. I might pick up the Sarah J. Maas book that's on my shelf, that's on the TBR, and that was Catwoman by Saucy Dealer. The prompt, well, I do have to update my bullet journal and write review for Legend Bond, so I don't forget it when it comes time to do the wrap up. But that won't take me too long. So the next book I'm going to pick up is, I think, we'll go Catwoman. I do like Selena Kyle. So we'll pick up that one. It was the prompt for read a randomly generated book with a randomly generated word in the title. Hang on. Went to town in New Britain. Well, new-ish, just what Docs I haven't worn in yet. And yep, they're going to give me a bit of a blister. It will be fine. I'm already covered in plasters. So yes, we're going to read Catwoman. This is just one of those installments in the DC Icons universe by popular YA authors, and it is a bit of an origin story for Selena. I also believe that Poison Ivy and Harley are in this. So we'll just read the back. When the bat's away, the cat will play. 2 years after escaping Gotham City's slums, Selena Kyle returns as the mysterious and wealthy Holly Vanderhees. Batman is off on a vital mission, and Gotham is at the mercy of the new thief on the prowl. Joined by the cunning Poison Ivy and the notorious Harley Quinn, she wreaks havoc across the city. Selena is playing a desperate game of cat and mouse, but with the dangerous threat from the past on her tail, will she be able to pull off the ultimate heist? Now, I have read the Batman book and the Superman book. Batman was by Murray Leigh and Superman was by Matt Dillapena. I enjoyed them at the time of reading them. I just didn't think I would reread them. And obviously this is the Catwoman book by Sarah J. Maas. The only one I own it, but I haven't read it yet, and that is Wonder Woman by Leigh Bardugo. So we'll just make a start on this one, update the bullet journal, update the review journal, and just sort of chill until it's time to see Shang-Chi, which by all accounts everybody says it is brilliant, and I don't have the same relationship with hyped movies as I do to hyped books. If it's a hyped movie, I probably am going to want to watch it, and I probably will, and I'll probably enjoy it. So I think that's it for this update. What is this, like 4? No, 3 updates in one day? What is going on? So yeah, bye for now. Change in background because I'm home. I have the house to myself. I haven't got any updates to give you on Catwoman because I haven't started it yet. So that's that. I did really enjoy Shang-Chi and the 10 Rings when I went to watch that last night. The fight scenes are just beautifully choreographed. It's like a dance, and so if you do get the chance to watch it, I would. It was funny, and dealt with themes of familial expectation, legacy, inheritance, as well as, you know, dealing with the nature of grief and what's right and what's wrong. So yeah, I would go watch it again, and I thoroughly recommend it to anyone and everyone. So I'm just going to spend the rest of today editing. I have my laptop with me. I'm just going to edit this vlog, make a start on editing the TBR, which I filmed yesterday, and just generally chill before I have to go back to work tomorrow. Well, back to the office. So that's it. That's it for this vlog. If you liked it, hit that subscribe button. If you liked it, hit that like button and subscribe if you want to see this talk about, well, they're up there, but you know how this works. Hit that button, hit that subscribe button if you want to see this talk about books, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.